What's up, world? This is your Royal Highness King Nero on King's Court Gaming, back with another vid. This is going to be my review, my thoughts, my opinions on the long-awaited, highly anticipated, highly controversial Last of Us Part 2. Now, I originally had a lot more footage that I had recorded, but it got corrupted. So now I am in my new game plus mode. So you're going to see some things that are going to be unlocked later on in the story. Now, with that being said, I just want to say that Naughty Dog knocked this game out of the park, man. At least for me, I feel they did. From the exploration to some of the stealth mechanics to how the AI reacts to you. There are many different things that were put into this game that I really enjoyed. There are some things, though, that frustrated me, that I didn't like. But I'll try to talk about as much as I can while not spoiling anything. They crafted a beautifully well thought out world where it's not just the main story that is a focus in this game, but the side stories, the stories of the people who came before you, who were in the areas before you. One of my favorites is the failed bank heist that is found in the first area on the first day of Seattle, where you get a shotgun as well. So explore everywhere, because if you miss this, you're going to miss out on that shotgun. Other things, like this beautiful synagogue, you find out about Dina's Jewish history. So look out for those as well. And there are also these moments where, in this one, Ellie is singing her rendition of "Take on Me" to Dina. Beautiful, beautiful scene. Now, as you can see, crafting has made a comeback, and there are 5 different trees. Now, you get these throughout playing the game, but like I said, this is the new game plus mode, so you're getting to see a little bit of kind of that high level or better gear that you acquire throughout the game. The combat is relatively the same, with a few new moments here and there, or not moments, I should say, but a few mechanics throughout. One of them being when you're trying to hide from enemies, some of them have guard dogs, where the guard dogs will come and they will smell your scent, and when you hit R1 to listen, you can see the trail of your scent. So if you either throw something to distract them or kind of hurry up and get out of their I guess scent area, I don't know what you want to call it, you can get away from that. But that is one of the new stealth mechanics. With Ellie, you no longer have to worry about shivs, because Ellie has the knife that her mother gave her. So that's what you use. So when you're doing melee combat or when you do stealth kills, you don't have to worry about your blade breaking. Now, as I stated before, there are multiple playable characters, and one of them is a character called Abby. Now, she is I'm not going to say who she is, but you are first introduced to Abby in the opening sequence or segments of the game. And one thing I can say about Abby is um, she's about giving those good hands. Now, with Ellie, her outside of the melee weapons that you can pick up, uh, Ellie uses the knife that I mentioned before, her mother's knife. Now, Abby uses her fists. So, like, she'll run up on the enemy and just, you can just wail on them, and, like, she doesn't need a weapon or anything like that. But the downside to that is she uses shivs. So, that's one thing that you have to be aware of is when playing with Abby, she has shivs that have to be crafted if you want to do those stealth kills. Another difference between the two is um, the weapons that Ellie gets throughout the campaign or the story are a revolver, a pistol, a shotgun, hunting rifle, bow and arrow, and a submachine gun that's acquired later in the game. She can also craft smoke bombs, traps, bows, explosive. I'm sorry, arrows, regular and explosive. While Abby uses a crossbow, she uses a flamethrower. That again, if you don't go off the beaten path, you won't find some of these weapons. But throughout the game, you're going to be questioning people's motives and why they did what they did. That's one of the aspects that I thoroughly enjoyed was that sense of, is what I'm doing the right thing to do? Um, that is something that by the end of the game you will truly be questioning everything. One thing I really do love about this game are the characters. They introduce a lot of new characters. With Ellie, you get Jesse and Dina. Those are two new characters that accompany Ellie during the story. And with Abby, um, that's where the two characters from one of the promotional videos a few years ago with the two kids, Yara and Lev. Now, Lev, um, I'm not going to say why he's controversial, but he is one of the more controversial characters in the game, and he is my favorite character in The Last of Us Part 2. So those are the things that are going to be going on within each person's story, because again, this isn't any major story spoilers, but partway through you play as Abby and you go through the days in Seattle kind of side by side to Ellie, and the stories will criss and cross and all of that, but each person has a story that is separate but the same, if that makes any sense. Um, Another thing that I enjoyed about this game is the prone feature, because normally you go prone to hide or things like that, but there have been moments where going prone in the middle of a gunfight, whether it is your own doing or the enemy's, has saved my behind more than once. Um, Really, just for me, this game, I truly enjoyed this game. There, like I said, there were some things that frustrated me. Some of the boss fights really frustrated me. One I'm not going to speak on at all, but the other one, from talking to a buddy of mine, it's called the Rat King, which is this giant amalgamation of infected. Essentially, think of like a giant infected walking booger. That's what it looks like. Now, there are new infected, two types in the game. One is called the Shambler, which if you get close enough to a Shambler, it will kind of release this acidic gas that can uh, melt your skin and burn you if you're not quick enough to get out of the mist. And when it dies, it explodes. So it'd be like this giant gassy explosion that you don't want to be anywhere near. And the other one are stalkers. And I guess the best way to describe them is they're like these little sneaky, uh, uh, almost blind, really fast enemies that will hide behind objects, and the closer you get, that's it. They'll either swarm you or they'll just be on you, and they can, for the most part, defend themselves very well against your melee attack. So you want to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Now, with all of that being said, I tried writing down my thoughts, but the type of person I am, it's no use writing it down for me. I tend to do better speaking from the heart. I may have rambled on a little bit, but um, these were just some of the things that I enjoyed about The Last of Us Part 2. Again, this is a beautifully crafted game. Well thought out, well produced, beautiful scenery, beautiful characters, and beautiful moments. And I want to end this video with a quote from quite possibly my favorite segment of the game, um, that involves Ellie and Joel. Now, Ellie and Joel's story, um, it does come to a close in this, but you will be satisfied with that closure, as long as you're willing to play through the game. So if you made it this far in the video, to pretty much get to this moment, this is a moment that truly, like, I don't want to spoil the circumstances around it, but I will leave you with this quote from Ellie. Here it goes. Look at me, I'm on a motherfucking dinosaur. So, yeah, that's The Last of Us Part 2. It has its ups and it has its downs. but I think I think people will enjoy it. I think that if you're willing to put the time and effort into this game, you will enjoy it. Some people might not, because again, this game is highly controversial. But I say throw all of that to the side, and give this game a shot. You don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, but my goal was to express my thoughts and opinions on the game. So by royal decree, I, King Nero, dub this game playable. See you next time.